That's garbage. And anybody who thinks that don't know football, man.
But one man's leg cost another man 18 years on the job. That's a problem to me.
I don't know what kind of cinnamon you had in your oatmeal this morning.
Well, does the kicker get paid? Does the kicker get paid? Does he pick up a paycheck every week? I'm your host, Derek Stewart, along with McKin Folk, Isaiah, and Najee. And we got a special show today we're going to be covering. And we want to make sure that you guys are up to speed on all of the current sports news, especially the breaking news segment of it. And the biggest thing is we had a major firing yesterday. John Harbaugh, who spent 18 years with the Baltimore Ravens, was let go yesterday. And I think it was in the making and it was going to happen, but we'll talk about some of the breakdown of what we think may have happened to have him removed out of that position after 18 years, because once you're entrenched for 18 years, his job has never really been up for a conversation, at least as far back as I can remember from when he got the job. So you're currently watching the DC Stewart Show with McKin Folk live on YouTube, on TikTok, and we're doing a Facebook segment as well. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Arrive Alive. Hit that subscribe, baby. So let's get right into this, and let's get to the meat and potatoes of what we think Harbaugh, had to deal with going into this season, because there was a lot of high expectations in this season for the Baltimore Ravens to make sure that they were going to get to the playoffs. Because if they don't get to the playoffs, guess what? There's going to be more, things to have to do. And beyond that, it's, you have to just look at the bigger picture of things and make sure that we are on point with how he's delivering and what he delivered throughout the whole year. So they ended up finishing 8-9, and that's not good enough. 8-9 is not good enough, and it's not good enough for any coach in the NFL. It's just not good. I mean, if you think about it, it's just not good. So with that said, I got McKin Folk, Isaiah here, and I got Najee here, and Najee's a Baltimore Ravens fan, so he's heavily into Baltimore. He's been that way since I've known him. I mean, seriously, on a serious note. So I'm going to start with you, Isaiah, and we want to just kick down and get the elephant out of the room, because there's rumors swirling all over the place of why he actually got removed. And one of the rumors were that technically he had lost some of the players, if not a majority of the players in the locker room. What do you think about that?
It's not winning. Winning is everything, and he wasn't winning. Look at their record. And Brandon, he had injury. He's had some contractual stuff going on a couple of years with Lamar, and Lamar was injured several times. Henry was fumbling more than normal, and he's just started losing games. And that stuff create turmoil in the locker room. And then when you been there for 18 years, and then you got that same type of rhetoric with the players, it kind of turned to a deaf ear, and they don't listen to him anymore. And it spewed out to the fans and the upper management, and then they had to make a move on him, because, of course, this game is a right now thing. You got to win right now. And if you look at it, you got a running back that's brutal, man, but he's getting old. So they got to start thinking about his future with Derrick Henry. And then you got a quarterback that's been phenomenal. He played an outstanding game this past week, and they came up short. So when you kind of bottle all those things and characterize all these things together, you got to look at winning. And that's what it all boiled down to. And when you start losing, and then you think about the age of these players, they got to make a decision to keep the coach around, to kind of get rid of the players, and they sure the hell is not getting ready to get rid of the players, because they got really, really good players on that team. So they had to make a decision about the coach. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Najee, do you agree with that? What Isaiah just kind of summarized in a nutshell?
I told y'all that weeks ago that man was going to get fired. Y'all didn't want to believe me because he's been up for so long. I told you they got too much talent to be borderline or not making this playoffs. And then when you have Patrick Mahomes get out of the playoff contention, and then the Bills not being what they are, and Derrick Henry has his second year with the Ravens, so they should be able to gel more, and they were losing more, and they were fumbling the ball more. Lamar Jackson threw what? He threw more than he did the last 3 seasons. I say, bro, they're gonna get rid of him. I told y'all that. They defense is declining like crazy. Then, of course, like you said, you got a running back that's already high collision. He's getting older. I knew that was gonna happen. I told y'all weeks ago. I don't know if I told y'all that off camera or on camera. I think I told y'all on camera. They were definitely getting rid of him if they don't make the playoffs. And look, they didn't waste no time. I told y'all that.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I'm looking at as an overall. I'm looking at his overall resume as a collective. Now, over time, that can erode. I mean, his ability to be able to reach people and connect with people can't exactly. That's a summary of it. That what have you done for me lately? Which means what have you done for me now? I don't want to hear about last year. I don't want to hear about you won the Super Bowl in 2013, I believe, or whatever year it was when he beat his brother, who was Jim Harbaugh for the San Francisco 49ers. They want to hear, and Steve Bisciotti, who's the owner, who's a software billionaire for the Baltimore Ravens, he wants results, just like every other owner wants results in the NFL. And he doesn't want his organization nor his team to have dysfunction. And if there's dysfunction involved, that has to be fixed. Now, the relationship that Bisciotti had with Harbaugh, let me ask you this, Najee. Do you think the relationship after 18 years of this man and their families all know each other, they don't went on trips together, I guess none of that all matters. Isaiah just summarized it. However, do you think that has any inkling to be able to give Harbaugh at least another year?
No, man. And then on top of it, I didn't even mention you have who we have over there, Popkins. We got another aging player. Bro, I told y'all that, man. No, it's time to get out of there. Lamar Jackson is not getting over this hump. He's getting older. Shout out to his happy birthday, Lamar Jackson. It's his birthday. They just looked it up.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah. So guess what? Y'all need to go ahead and get this man what he needs so he can prevail, bro. Because now they're trying to put him on the pedestal of being an overrated quarterback. And I know that's not true. That's not true. He's exactly what they say he is.
He left it all on the field, man. I was impressed. To be honest with you, I watched so many elusive quarterbacks growing up, and then as an adult, and Jackson, he's right at the top. He's right at the top, man. With Michael Vicks and the good greats that could run with the ball, man. And to say he's overrated, that's garbage. And anybody who thinks that don't know football, man. This guy can move the ball with the drop of a dime. He scored, he answered everything this past week with Pittsburgh, man. He did all he can. You couldn't even ask for more for a quarterback and a leader. And then for them to come up short, it just really falls back on the coach, because it really never should have been in the hands of a kicker, to pull that game out. The kickers just come in there and do their thing, and he came short. And then they canned the quarterback. That was something that was brewing for a while. And then it just happened to say, okay, enough is enough, and we need to go ahead and move on to a different direction, because you can't blame it on the kicker. You got to make it.
I can, and we'll have a discussion on that. I can blame it on the kicker. I'm going to blame it on the kicker.
You know the damn thing about football.
Listen, one man's leg cost another man 18 years on the job. That's a problem to me. One man's leg cost another man 18 years on the job. That's a problem to me.
You just contradicted yourself, DC. You just contradicted yourself. We showing you that the thing been brewing for freaking years, and you just blame that shit on the damn kicker.
Well, if the kicker would have made the effing kick, Harbaugh would not have made news yesterday. I'm telling you, they would have won a division, and they would have been in a better position to move into the playoffs if they were going to be issued a playoff spot. It's just unbelievable, because Pittsburgh ended up winning the game, so they're in the playoffs against Houston. So we're not going to agree on this one. I'm not going to agree with you, because that kicker had a 44 freaking yard chip shot. There ain't no rhyme or reason. Why that kicker did not make that kick. I'm going to hold that kicker accountable, because that's all he does is he kicks. That's all he does.
I don't know what kind of cinnamon you had in your oatmeal this morning, man. If you think you can blame that on the damn kicker, you're freaking crazy.
Well, does the kicker get paid? Does the kicker get paid? Does he pick up a paycheck every week?
What's the DC? What's the difference in that? And you throw a bomb downfield in the quarter, in the receiver drop a touchdown in the end zone, and the time goes out and they lose. That's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. The receiver dropped the damn ball, they lost. The time ticked out and they lost. This is something that has been brewing on for years. And this was just a sprinkle on the cake for them to get rid of him because they lost and they couldn't advance. But you can't blame that on the kicker, man. You got to be delusional. Blame that on the kicker, man. You got injury, okay. Step the next man in. You got a contractual stuff. Okay, step the next man in. You got the fact that he's been there for 18 years. He lost the locker room, DC. The players are pissed with him. He's got a really good, talented team, and he couldn't advance them. You going to blame it on the damn kicker?
Yes, sir.
That's wrong, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll agree to disagree on that one because the outcome of his job security would have been different if that kick would have went through those uprights like it should have. Like it should have.
Happened,
because if the hat was on the other side, let's just, I'm going to give you a perfect example, and you did summarize some good points there. If the hat was on the other side and the kicker missed for Pittsburgh and Mike Tomlin got fired yesterday, we'd be having a whole different conversation, right?
No, understand what happened in the game, DC. The Pittsburgh Steelers missed an extra point. So the difference is, if he would have hit his extra point, you guys would have Ravens would have had to have that 3 just to tie the game up. It wouldn't have been a win. It would just to tie the game up.
Correct.
So that's the difference, man. He could have won the game by hitting that kick. But the fact is, you don't blame that entire game on the kicker. It was a lot of.
I'm not going to blame the entire game on the kicker, but whenever the clutch comes through, and when you're supposed to do your job, and you're supposed to make that kick, I'm not going to say that the kicker is solely responsible because the defense gave up some points. However, what do they have kickers for, man? Why do they have a kicker? They don't need no freaking kicker if the kicker can't help win the game for them sometimes. That's all I'm saying.
Let's just say every position on the football team is important. Every last one of them.
Absolutely. Including the kicker's leg, which cost Harbaugh 18 years yesterday.
No, it did not.
Okay, let's just move on. Let's just move on because we're not going to agree on this one.
Hang on. If they was happy with him, those 18 years wouldn't have been flushed down the toilet from losing one game. It was already.
Well, they lost 9 games. They didn't lose one game. They lost 9 games, but this was a pivotal game. That's all.
Well, what I'm telling you is they wouldn't have been willing to smash him and hang him on the clothesline for losing this game if they was satisfied with his coaching. They're not satisfied with him. They had to make a decision to move on to keep this team intact and let somebody else take over, man.
Okay, we'll talk a little bit later about somebody else because the league is full of talented coaches. The NFL is full of talented coaches. But however, there's no guarantee that another coach is going to be able to come in and do some of those things. Let me move on to Najee. Let me move on to Najee, man.
Go right ahead, damn it.
Yeah, you drink your liquid. Let me move on to Najee. Najee, do you think John Harbaugh, and I'm going to specifically talk about Lamar Jackson here, do you think John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson actually aligned when Lamar Jackson got drafted by the Ravens out of Louisville? He was a Heisman Trophy winner. Was there some point that they actually went different directions in terms of philosophy, him and Lamar?
They had to because I don't feel like they was co-signing on every play they were supposed to be doing this season because it had me questioning a lot of things that was going on, man. I'm like, bro, you have Derrick Henry, he's finishing the game with 40 yards. You have Lamar Jackson, he had the most turnovers in years. So I'm like, obviously something's not working right. The line is not, it was nothing. Their defense wasn't nothing. So I'm like, bro, that's why I told y'all, he's getting fired, bro. Because when that was the excuse last year. Not only the Mark Andrews, he dropped the pass that would have got them, that would have advanced them. But now you have now that you have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in for another season to prevail, to go further, at least further in the playoffs, to do something. But you got DeAndre Hopkins also. Guess what? You don't even make the playoffs, bro. I'm telling you, if they would have made the playoffs, they would at least gotten right out, at least outside the Super Bowl. That probably would have prolonged that man's job. But now you're showing that you're going backwards, bro. That's the last thing you need to do, and especially to a team that's 8. That's the last thing you do.
Well said.
Well, here's the thing, Najee, and I totally agree with you on every single point that you hit, but Isaiah doesn't seem to understand, and I'm going to be very clear here. He doesn't seem to understand that when you're in a dogfight of a game, it doesn't matter which team you're playing against. That goes from high school level, that goes from a high school level, college level, pro level. When you're in a dogfight, like that team was in a dogfight the other night with Pittsburgh, and you pay a man to kick the ball through the uprights. You pay him for that. And then he comes onto the field. He's a rookie. And this is not solely on him because the defense gave up some points. However, when you're in a dogfight like that, you expect for your kicker to be able to come in and make that kick. I ain't gonna never agree with Isaiah on what he said about that. It's not the kicker's fault. I agree with you that it's not the kicker's fault, but I'm never going to agree that kicker had a responsibility to put that ball through them uprights, and we'd be having a whole different conversation because, Najee, you just explained that if they would have made the playoffs, they would have won the division, and they would have made the playoffs. It wouldn't have been Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh would have been outside looking inside the window, correct? Am I right?
Yeah, DC.
Okay, then. I mean, Najee agrees that I was right. When you pay a man to kick a field goal when you're in a dogfight with another team, and they get you down there, and you got a 44-yard field goal. You've made field goals the whole year. This kicker, I believe this is one of his first misses, right? And it could happen.
That was his fourth miss.
Fourth miss of the year, which is very good in terms of numbers. I think the percentages are on his side. However, when you're in a game like this and you really need to win, and I'm not saying this would have solved Harbaugh's problems if he had issues between the players or between the locker room or whatever the case may be, but at least they would have won a division. They would have been able to move on and play for another week. He didn't get a chance to do that because the field goal did not go through. That's all I'm trying to say. So we can agree to disagree on that. You're talking about a whole different set of circumstances behind the scenes, which is true. I agree with you.
DC, man, don't try to add Najee's commentary into what.
Yes, I am. I'm going to add it in there because he agrees that kicker should have made that kick. But he agrees, Isaiah, listen, he agrees the kicker should have made the kick. That's all I'm saying.
God,
they pay you a salary to make a kick. You don't even practice with the freaking team. You don't even, most of the things that go on the field, he's somewhere by himself with a kicking tee trying to kick. He don't have to tackle and be tackled. So let's just move on to the next one. Let me ask you this, Isaiah, let me ask you this. If Lamar Jackson is the franchise, do you think it was Harbaugh's principal responsibility to ensure that his relationship stayed intact with Lamar and that his relationship with Lamar got to the point where they can gel to be able for Lamar to be able to feel comfortable enough to be able to come back and win games for him because he's been out with injuries?
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta trust your guy, man. They gotta trust each other. I'm talking about down to the play calling, all this stuff. You don't necessarily have to like each other, man. I mean, really, you don't. You got to have that working relationship, though, because when it's all said and done, we got one common goal, is to win games and to win a championship. That's it. You ain't got to like nobody in that damn locker room, but damn, everybody's getting paid to do their job. And
absolutely,
his job is to run that team.
I agree.
His main guy is the quarterback. And you got to have a certain degree of respect and admiration of the play calling and all this stuff to be able to lead this team. Because if you can't get along with your main guy, because think about it. I remember years ago in DC, you know this, when a guy like Magic Johnson didn't get along with you, Michael Jordan didn't get along with you, you're out. Because the thing is, the buck stopped with the star player on the team. Ask Kobe Bryant when he was, listen, you weren't getting along with Kobe, you out. If you can't get along with LeBron, you out. How many coaches you think LeBron got fired?
Multiple coaches.
You know you got to get along with your head guy. And that could be part of it, man. You got to make that guy feel comfortable. You got to run things that he's good at. You got to make these adjustments when time prevails, And then if you don't do that, you lose trust. And when you lose trust in your main guy, it spills on to the next person, the next person, the next person. And that's when you got a recipe for loss. And that's what's going on, man. And it has nothing to do with no damn kicker.
Okay. Well, like I said before, we'll come back to that at a later date to discuss that if we have an opportunity.
I'm right, and that's it. Period.
Okay. Well, what's right is right, huh? All right. So, Najee, was Harbaugh still coaching Lamar, or was he just working around Lamar? Was Harbaugh still coaching Lamar? Was he still communicating with Lamar from a coaching perspective to ensure that Lamar got the best of what he needed to be successful on that field? And that goes for offensive line, everything, play calling, just what Isaiah explained. Do you think he was just coaching around Lamar, or was he coaching Lamar?
Well, it could be a little bit of both but I didn't. It's not like I seen Lamar doing audibles and changing plays or anything like that. So that's probably what made it more frustrating, that they're actually listening and doing the plays that he's calling that they don't agree with, and then it didn't fall through. That makes it worse between the guys. Now, if he's giving you plays and you going outside of it and you mess up, then it's on you. It's on you as an athlete, as a star player. But if you're doing his plays, conducting and doing his, and trying to execute whatever he's telling you to do, and it doesn't fall through and you're losing, that builds up, I don't want to say hatred, but it builds up bad blood between you guys, especially when you continue losing.
That's a good point. One thing about, and I don't have any experience coaching. I did coach as a volunteer at a high school, so I got a little bit of understanding of some of what, goes on in the practices and when the games go, when we play games and stuff like that. But over 18 years, and he's probably been with Lamar. How long has Lamar been in the league? Let me see. He's been with Lamar probably half those 18 years, right?
They drafted him. They drafted Lamar. He's only played for them.
Yeah, so since that's the case, I have to agree with you, Najee, that I think he was doing a little bit of both. I think a lot of coaches have to be very cautious about how they approach a star player on their team. And Isaiah just summarized and summed it up in a nutshell that technically you have to, Jimmy Johnson said it best. Jimmy Johnson said, look, my best players, I'm going to take care of. I'm going to look out for them. My other players, I'm going to look out for them too. But my best players, I'm going to stick up for, and I'm going to really make sure that they have everything that they need versus anything else. So with this said in mind, a lot of coaches have to really walk that tightrope, especially when you got a guy on your team like Lamar Jackson, that he put the BBLs in the seats. He's a superstar athlete. I mean, Lamar's an athlete. Lamar's not a quarterback. A lot of people want to put that tab on him and stick that, tag on him. Lamar Jackson is an athlete.
Yeah.
And since he's an athlete, he has the ability to be able to do damn near anything on that field that he wants to do, as long as he's getting the right guidance to do it. Wouldn't you guys agree with that?
Of course, it gives him a different dimension, and he's a triple threat, man, because he can run the ball, he can pass the ball, he can even receive the ball. So that's a triple threat. And it worries the crap out of a defensive coordinator to keep this guy contained, man, and for him to not win, it's just gotta be devastating to him. I mean, remember the post game DC after the game, and they was trying to ask him about the future of Harbaugh, and he wasn't thinking about that. He was thinking the fact that just 30 minutes ago we got our butts whipped when we should have been advancing in the playoffs. He just couldn't swallow that thing, the fact that he gave it his all. And I'm going to tell you right now, it was one of the best games. It was certainly the best game I've seen this year in pro football. But he left it all on the line, man. He put it all out there, man. He did everything. And then to come up short, that's devastating to a guy who has pride and he's willing to do everything and whatever it takes to win. And that's, bro, any coach would really jump out of that airplane to have a player like that, man, to have that type of mindset when it comes to football, man, because some of them get tired. They don't do as much as they want. Some of them have issues, home issues, or whatever the case may be. They can't focus on their job. And it's a thing where this guy, kind of channel every distraction out just to go in there and come away with a win and to come up short. It was devastating to him, man. He didn't want to hear anything about what's going on in the future of the franchise and the coach. He didn't want to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. And that's a good point. However, with the team having 50 plus players, I know all of them were disappointed with not winning that game and the way the season went. It's just, if you want to put it all together and add the way the season went, and then they didn't win that one game that they really needed, but they didn't.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the owner is results oriented. I mean, Steve Bisciotti, he's a no nonsense owner.
Remember, we all thought Lamar wasn't going to even play. Remember, we thought
exactly. He was kind of a last minute kind of decision to play him, right? And he showed out. He showed up. He showed out. He did everything that he needed to do, I think, from what my observation of the game was. It's just that certain elements of the game didn't go as planned, especially from the defensive perspective. Pittsburgh played hard, just like they should do. And Aaron Rodgers stepped up to the plate because he wanted his team to win. So anytime you have a competition like that, you're going to always have a much, much more exciting outcome in terms of the ending of it, whether it's a field goal, whether it's a missed field goal, whether it's a missed touchdown pass or whatever, however you want to frame it. That's kind of how it looks. So let's move on to this next question. Do you think that Harbaugh should have made the necessary changes, or whatever the necessary changes are? And I'm going to start with Najee again with this. What changes did he need to make to right this season?
They line wasn't guarding.
You're talking about the offensive line, correct?
The offensive line and the defensive line. What you mean? Their defense was terrible. Then you had you have Aaron Rodgers running for plus 20 yards, a 42-year-old man with a bad hip.
Yeah.
Bro, come on, man. Serious?
Yeah. Yeah, he damn near. Well, you know what? When it comes to players, and I think deep down inside, players are human beings, just like all of us. And if we don't feel good in a work environment, a lot of times you become uncomfortable in that work environment. And a lot of times your attitude can change. Your effort can change. And then you find yourself out there just barely making it or barely doing just enough to get by, right?
That's true. They're not going to give it their all. And that's one thing about satisfying these guys, and especially with this era of football, where as most of these guys are adolescents in mindset, man. They children,
Well, they have children mindsets. Yes, that is a very valid point. You are absolutely right.
And the thing is, you have meetings, you show up to meetings, you kind of keep these guys on the same page, the same accord, because otherwise they will go astray because their mindset is so, shallow, and they don't freaking keep their attention span long. So you got to keep these guys embarked on the project at hand. and that's winning, and that's going to the Super Bowl. And for you to have your leader to be upset with you, not buying into your in the play calling and all that stuff, and then when you're losing, these guys not giving it their all, man. I just watch when you not just hold on to a block, when you don't sustain a block, when you don't run a pattern, a route with all your might every play. When you a damn decoy, you're supposed to run the ball.
You're supposed to sell the play. You're supposed to sell your role in the play. Yeah. You don't lope. I mean, that's called loping. I mean, when you go in loping, that's what you're doing, right?
Yes, you are. You are loafing, man. And that right there, when you're talking about a guy who even catch you loafing, a coach catch you loafing, you're supposed to be doing sprints after practice, man. You're supposed to be doing push-up. You're supposed to be getting held accountable by not just the coach. Your teammates see you doing something like that, man. They should say, hey, dog, hey, man, look, you ain't run that route hard, man, because that has everything to do with timing. If you got a guy just loafing around, and guess what? The defensive back know you ain't getting the ball because you ain't running as hard. He's like, oh, this guy, the safety can break off and go help somebody else on the other side because this guy loafing on this side, he ain't getting the ball. So that all comes together with the head coach and making sure these guys do their jobs. I'm telling you. You know, DC, remember when they used to, when the wishbone first came out?
Yes, I do.
The wishbone was a beautiful, beautiful way of running the offense, man. Because to sell the wishbone, you got to have a big fullback. And you get that fullback, set him up in that pull gap with the ball, pull it back. And all the linebackers converge on this guy. You pull that thing back and you take off around the 8-hole. But that fullback, if he loafing, the play ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
It don't go nowhere, man. Nowhere. Even Peyton Manning. If you watch Peyton Manning's career, he faked out everything. He would hide the ball behind his leg and everything. And wait till his receiver comes over, he picked that thing up and boom. That was all about selling a play. But when you got a guy who's not doing that, you know, it's easier for a defense to read the fact that you're not going down the field for a bomb because you're loafing. So all of that stuff is like elementary, man. It really is. And for these guys to get beat like that and then the coach get canned, it's all on him. That was all on him. It wasn't the kicker.
Well, it's on every coach, just not on him. Now, every coach has been let go since Monday. It was all in their lap as well. And as I said before in past shows, each owner is different. They're not all the same. What works for this owner doesn't work for another owner. And if that's the case, it doesn't matter whether you spend 50 years in one place. If that owner is tired of you or that owner sees a situation within his organization that is beginning to crack or show cracks, they're going to get rid of you. And that's kind of how it works. Now, Harbaugh will land on his feet, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. But one thing about fallout is subtle. Fallout is subtle. And it's subtle in a manner that you could be in any work environment. And if you mad about something, or if a person is mad about something, they don't want to engage with you. A majority of them don't. They don't want conflict. It's a subtle fallout. So, for example, look, I'm not going to do this part of the job, and I'm going to just let this part of the job lag. And then if something falls through, it ain't on me. It's on the head coach, or it's on the person who's a manager of the area, or whatever the case may be. Najee, does Todd Monken, who is the offensive coordinator, have any, should they get rid of him as well? Because I'm pretty sure he's gone, as well as Terry Orr, because the new coach is probably going to bring in their own staff, right?
They on entourage. That's normally how it goes. When the head coach get fired, everybody get a job.
Yeah.
Coordinator, train, all that. They want to bring their own people in, bro. It's just like when you talking about When you talking about, just like when you talking about like a politician's job, when everybody was like, you know what, I don't like my treasury, I don't like the vice president. I'm get rid of all of them. I'm bringing my own people in.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't be surprised.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Because I thought that, you know, a lot of times everything has to line up by the dots. And what I mean by that, you have to have the right kind of players in the right kind of positions to win football games. You have to have the right personnel teaching these people.
Different circumstances.
And it's different circumstances for different organizations, different coaches, and a little bit of everything. And that's how his brother Jim Harbaugh got fired from San Francisco. Now, there was always rumors swirling out of San Francisco that Jim Harbaugh was very difficult to deal with. I mean, it was his way or the highway. And that's kind of how, if you got a coach like that, it's only a matter of time before they're going to get to him. Because what happens is he could 5 or 6 players out of there trying to get rid of them because he don't like how they're reacting to things or how they're playing. But it's coming back around to you. It's going to get you one day. Because you're going to run out of players to 06. And then when you get to that star player, if it's a star player on your team, the owner going to say, yo, timeout, dog, timeout. You ain't finna 06 this person. You ain't even finna mistreat this person. We going to protect our house. We going to protect our asset. And that's kind of how my whole thought process is about this. So, Isaiah, let me ask you a question and just summarize it to me right to the T, which you've already done, but I want to hear a little bit different from a different angle. Was it more Lamar Jackson being the distraction on the team? And I don't think he was a distraction, but was Lamar Jackson a distraction on this team?
No, man. Listen, man. If you take Lamar away from this team, right? You know, this season, he probably would have won 5 games at the most, because his dynamic is the one. I mean, one of freaking few games that they won. It was him. It was him, and it was him between him and Derrick Henry, man. Both, because there's such a threat to both of them, because you don't know if Lamar gonna take off running. As brutal as Derrick Henry is, but Lamar take off running on you too. So it wasn't a distraction about him. Even when he was in a contract dispute, he was playing one year he played without a contract. Do you see? Remember?
I remember that. Yeah, I do.
He was trying to show them, I am worth every penny I'm asking for. So how can that ever be a distraction? This guy was playing, showing you my loyalty. I want this amount of money, pay me, because this is what I'm worth. And he did it, and he got hurt when that year too, I think. And they turned around later on the next year and kind of fattened him up and gave him the bag. But it just was his way of showing them, I'm the guy, give me what I'm worth, and I'm going to be loyal to you. So at that point, this is the reason why they say, okay, Lamar is doing what he's supposed to do. Henry, despite those few mishaps with dropping the ball, he's doing what he's going to do, because I'm going to tell you right now, Henry is a huge asset to this offense, man, no matter what people think. The guy, I watch his workout regimen. I watch how he eats. I mean, he sleeps. They show all of his life, man, how he's staying in condition at his age, and he's productive. So you got all of these things in line, and then you got a coach that's not taking you over the hump. So what you gonna do? You're gonna get rid of that coach. That's what all the bottom line is. Yeah.
Well, a lot of times your situation runs out of shelf life too, and fate comes to you. Fate pays you a visit. If you've been in a position 20 years, 30 years, fate's going to come pay you a visit. It's going to knock on your door, and it's going to tell you, look, dog, it's time for you to go. I mean, that's just what I see in a lot of what I see in sports in this country. So it looks like John Harbaugh's overall record was 180 to 113. His postseason record was 13-11. And his career record was 193 over 124. That's a to me, very above average score for any coach in the league.
Yeah. But
Period.
DC, if you look at it, it's beautiful though. As a coach, you look at that success, and then the tail end of his career there, he started losing. But who's not to say that he can go to another team, just like Andy Reid?
Yeah, Andy Reid. He needs to take a chapter out of Andy Reid, and he will. Because you know what? John Harbaugh worked for Andy Reid at the Philadelphia Eagles. So he knows Andy Reid. He knows the dynamics behind taking this. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was heartbroken and he was, he was not happy when he got that call to come into that office, and they had to tell him, look, we're parting company. And when they tell you we're parting company, they do it so subtly. They don't tell you, look, you fired, get the hell out of here. They don't say that. When they call you in that office, they just say, look, here's the overall picture of what happened this season. We're looking at an overall dynamic of the direction that the team went in for the last few seasons into this season, and where we're trying to get to after this season. So we've decided just to go a different direction. That's generally how they deliver it.
Right there. To me, I think that's nothing but business, because
there
ain't really no hard feelings, do you see? Because, listen, man.
There ain't no hard feelings behind that I could see.
Remember, Chris Greer with the Miami Dolphins, the GM. He's been stealing Ross guy for years. And just because, time ran out and the circumstances, took him away here too, and he got canned, that is not to say that Chris Greer and Stephen Ross still not friends. You just got to freaking go in a different direction in terms of your mindset and the things that you say and do with this team. Because your voice means something. So just because on the field it ain't working, but our friendship still is intact. So that could be the same thing with Harbaugh. He's probably still friends with the owner. There's no.
Oh, for sure. For sure. They've spent 18 years together. I don't see how you can't be friends if you're working for somebody for 18 years. Are they just not communicating? They are communicating, and they communicate in a very friendly way. Here we have a visitor, and he's new to our channel, and he says he's glad Harbaugh is gone. This is at Ravens 76 more 54. I'm glad Harbaugh is gone. He handicapped this team. What do you guys think about that?
He's probably spot on, DC. I mean, I just told you about the locker room. When you lose your locker room, you might as well walk out the door, because these guys are turned off, man. It's just, listen, man, it's just like a person that you really don't want to deal with in your life no more, where you had a good, tight relationship with them, and it just went sour. You see them driving down the street, you might want to be in the corner, just don't even run into them. You don't want to make eye contact with them no more.
Right.
And that's the same thing could happen in the locker room. But then on the second hand, it just didn't work. And so we all agree it just didn't work, unless just that we had our run, because they had their run. They had a beautiful run. And now it's just trying to just try something different. That's all. That's all it is.
Right, yeah. Right. And Harbaugh, John and Jim, they come from a football family. Their father coached, and he was a damn good coach. Looks like I just pulled Harbaugh's career up here, and it looks like he ended up coaching at Western Michigan starting in 84 to 86. He coached at Pittsburgh in 1987 as the tight ends coach. He coached at Morehead State in 1988 as the special teams coach and secondary coach. Coached at Cincinnati in 89 through 96, special teams coordinator. Indiana, special teams coordinator and defensive backs. Philadelphia Eagles is where I knew about him from. And he was a special teams coordinator at Philadelphia from 1998 to 2006, and then he was a DB coach in 2007, and then he was the Baltimore Ravens coach from 2008 to the yesterday. So I think that's a very impressive career that he's had. I think he's an upstanding guy. To me, he's one of the coaches that if I wanted to meet coaches, he would be the one of the coaches, him and Tomlin and all those guys, I would want to meet personally. Yeah. Walk up to him, talk with him, because John Harbaugh seems like he's the type of person that you can have a beer with in the bar and talk some smack, right? So that, what, we wish him well, and he'll be hired more than likely before the week is out. Because
if he want a job, because his phone is ringing off the hook now.
Well, that put a damper on a lot of other coaches too. Would you think that a lot of other coaches just right there sitting on that bubble and is getting ready to burst?
Yeah.
Because I know Todd Bowles' name keep coming up. I don't know whether it's just phony advertising or whatever you want to call it, and Todd Bowles' names keep coming up. And it's a lot of other coaches' names keep surfacing as well. I think Aaron Glenn, even in New York, got one more year. And if they get out to a bad start next year, he's going to be gone. And he's only been there for 1 year. So there's no time frame to keep a coach. Some of them that let coaches go right in the middle of that first season, It just depends. It's a high stakes business.
You think what's remarkable about what you're just mentioning? You think of a coach that's already like on the bubble, and then here Harbaugh come available, and this guy is, and if Harbaugh want that job, they're gonna go ahead and can that coach. I'm telling you, it's crazy how it works, man. Because let's say here at the Dolphins, and the Dolphins been trying to get one of the Harbaugh brother, with a Jim or John, one of them, and here McDaniels is sitting on a thread anyway. They might can him, man, and bring one of those guys in. I mean, it could well happen like that. This is some hypothetical stuff, but it can kind of happen like that, man, because the GM is gone, Tua is third string, and they need to wheel and deal him out of here and find a way to get rid of him and get him off the books some kind of way and bring in another good quarterback, a young quarterback. But all of this could happen. It can very well happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Najee, let me ask you this. Do you think any of these coaches in this upcoming wild card round, are they on the bubble to lose their job since Harbaugh is available in this market now? I mean, the first one could be Pittsburgh, the Buffalo Bills coach, Sean McDermott. I mean, these are coaches that's been mentioned over the years that people want them gone, especially the fan bases and the media in those cities. And at least from the Tomlin's perspective, for sure.
Especially if you're talking about a team that's already, that they feel like they're on the brink of going to the Super Bowl, like they just need a better leadership and better philosophy. But you already getting rid of several coaches, so why would not? And he's already the better coach of the ones that's been fired so far. So why would you not at least be considered from them? It just, if he wants the job,
that coaching pool to spread it out, man.
It is. It is.
So there's a lot of guys.
He probably got to lick his wounds and get his stuff together, then call him up and say, you know what, I take the job. I don't see him doing it like right away because, he was there for so long. He might want to be able to, bring it all in first. But other than that, no, he's going to get a job. It's not going to be that long.
I agree to disagree with you, Najee. I think he's going to step right into the next job. I really do think within the next several weeks, especially since the type of jobs that opened up. You got the New York Giants. That's a high-profile job. The Atlanta Falcons would be a good landing spot for him, I think, personally. I mean, since Atlanta needs a head coach.
Yeah. The
Falcons is a very attractive job.
DC,
for sure.
Did you see the thing? I sent you this the other day, and I don't know how true it is, but I sent it over to you. They claim that Smart may be that candidate for the Falcons job.
No, Kirby Smart would be crazy, man. Listen, I ask you the same question about Marcus Freeman. Is Kirby Smart crazy? I mean, is he crazy? Let me ask you this: is he crazy enough to entertain it? You think he's crazy enough to entertain it?
But I'm telling you, that's the
okay. Then if he needs to just tell him no, thank you, but no, thank you. I mean, I don't want to come to the NFL. I got everything I need at Georgia.
And see, the thing is, they probably think it's sweet because he's already there. But that to me, I mean, Kirby, that's career suicide. I think Kirby will walk into a buzzsaw with the Falcons, and he'd do a good job because I'm a Kirby Smart guy. I like Kirby Smart. I think he's one of the best coaches in college, and he's still continuing on. Kirby Smart is not that damn smart if he take that job.
Well, if they take the job, he ain't that smart. No,
And I'm gonna tell you right now, he's one of those Nick Saban type of guys. It don't work, man. That transition to that college.
He already Kirby Smart already know that. Kirby Smart already knew that.
Got to do it, man.
Yeah.
So the Spurriers and all that pull that stunt and fail,
and had to turn right around and go back.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on to this next coach, Pete Carroll. There was similar allegations coming out of the Raiders camp, sources inside the Raiders organization to say that Pete Carroll had lost that locker room or portions of that locker room. Najee, do you agree with that?
I definitely do.
So what's the main factor that Pete Carroll lost that locker room? Because there were other allegations swirling that he had his son there with him. So, I mean, it was looked at kind of like from a nepotism perspective.
I told you that. His son is Geno Smith. I told you that.
Well, that's one of his sons.
I told you, man.
That's one of his sons for sure.
You mentioned Geno, and with them, I knew that was be the bastard, bro. You set yourself up, bro. I swear you do. I swear yourself up, bro. Anything that's going to be related to Geno Smith is going to be everything.
What you got against Geno? What's up with Geno?
Like you can't stand Geno.
Yeah, man, what's up with Geno, man?
He's so terrible. He's so terrible.
You know he's cousins with Jeremiah Smith. You know that, right?
Yeah. People like you that try to hold a lot of faith in you. And then when I do, I'll be like, you know what? Let me go and let me watch his game. I'm like, bro, this man is sorry. Like, bro, he is not a starting quarterback. Like,
you can say everything about Geno Smith, Najee. I'm gonna tell you right now, he keep a damn job, though.
And he deserved to keep a job. Geno Smith deserves to keep a job. Geno Smith is to me right at the top of quarterbacks that are bums in the league. I mean, technically, you got a bunch of quarterbacks that don't even belong in the league. They're there. I mean, so Geno Smith as a backup, I don't see a problem with him being a backup on any other team. I mean, you know, look at how long
he's definitely a backup.
Look at how long Jacoby Brissett has been around.
Man.
Jacoby Brissett has been. I remember when Jacoby Brissett was at North Carolina State. You know how long ago that was.
But he can throw the ball. So.
He was in Miami. He's been everywhere.
His weakness is the red zone. It's not throwing the ball. He can actually really throw the ball pretty well. His weakness is the red zone. Like he will go for 300-400 yards easy. I'm like, oh yeah. How many touchdowns he got? 1 touchdown, 3 picks. Oh, that's what it is. Like, he can throw the ball. Geno can't throw the ball. He's very inconsistent in throwing the ball. Very inconsistent.
Well, everything has to work in conjunction, though, I think. Personally.
He must have played a different position in he must have been like Ryan Tannehill when he was supposed to be a receiver, then turned into a quarterback. That's probably what Geno was. I fail to believe that he's always been a quarterback. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, if we're getting into talking about quarterbacks, quarterback that's the brainiac of the team. I mean, especially the offense. This person actually controls the team from start to finish when it comes to scoring and moving the offense up and down the field. So quarterback is important. But Jacoby Brissett, he's played for the Patriots, the Colts, the Dolphins, the Cleveland Browns, the Washington Commanders, the New England Patriots again, and now the Arizona Cardinals to present. So
I mean, he played for every franchise.
It's 32 franchises. But if you want to pair Geno Smith up with some of these other quarterbacks, I'd be willing to defend Geno Smith any day when it comes to that.
Especially when you go get a 44-year-old man who got grandkids off the damn rocking chair and bring them in and play them.
Yeah.
Rivers, man. Yeah, man. You don't think he's better than Phillip Rivers, Najee?
No.
Who you talking about, Geno Smith?
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Well, doing Phillip Rivers is the height of his career. No,
we're not talking about that. We're talking about
even
that old stuff, man.
Phillip, man, how can you compare the two, man?
No.
Phillip Rivers is 34 years old. He's been a coach. Phillip Rivers looked like Phillip Rivers' stomach stuck out so far. It looked like he done been hanging out and he coaching these kids and stuff. But he's not football. He's not in football shape anymore.
Still play better. Just my point is that
the fact that he's talking this crap about Geno Smith and they gonna get an antique off the damn house.
Well, that's a good comparison.
No.
I guarantee right now Cam Newton can outplay Geno right now. And one last time.
You really do think so? You think Cam could come in and outplay Geno?
Yep.
Why is that? Why do you think Cam can outplay Geno?
Because
why you think he's not out there then, Najee? Why you think?
Yeah, that is a great question. That is a great question.
We had that conversation already because he has
that's last week then.
He has his own image that he wants to portray. He has his own image he wants to portray. He don't want to listen to anything.
We weren't talking about that. We was talking about when he, as a commentator, that's the image he's trying to portray. We talking about football now.
In football shape and showing back up. Yes.
Yeah.
That man is blacklisted, bro. That man is blacklisted because we already know that.
Okay, well, say that then. That's exactly what is wrong with that. He's blacklisted.
Yeah.
You don't even, well, he do know it. He know it.
Well, it's up to him to change that if he wants to change it.
He changed it. No, he can't.
Well, he might not.
That's a done deal.
He might not. Yeah, he might not. Yeah, so you currently listen to the DC Stewart Show Podcast live with McKinfolk, Isaiah, and Najee. We're deep into this thing. We were talking about John Harbaugh and his firing yesterday, and we were breaking down some of the analysts and the analytics of why he got fired, or at least from some of the perspectives that certain people are thinking, because there's so much stuff going on out there and so much news, and some of it's true, some of it's not true. John Gruden's name has surfaced a lot lately. Yeah. They had a article that I was reading the other day that he's technically setting himself up to go back to Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay has a coach, which name is Todd Bowles. So is Todd Bowles going to get run off? That's the question you have to ask yourself.
You know what? Really, I would rather see Harbaugh take that job than Chucky, man. Chucky ain't got no business with no another job, man, in the NFL.
Why is that? Why? I mean, give me a principal issue. Why?
Man, he's had his run. He's got canned for some immoral stuff that he's doing, and he was lobbying the coach in college. Let him go over there and coach the college guys, the kids over there, and let him see what he can do there. Because I actually think the way he coaches kind of old now. I think he won't even be successful on any level. I want to see him get a job, but I don't think he's going to be successful because his way of coaching is old, and those days are passed by now. So give him a job, whoever is crazy enough to hire him.
Yeah. I think it's going to be really interesting. I'm looking forward to this first wild card week to see if there's going to be any movement of coaches after these games in the wild card in, because you're never safe as a coach. Technically, you're never really safe. I mean, it doesn't matter which time of the season. It could be in the off season. It could be a whole bunch of different variables and factors that can get you 06th out of a place. So anyway, we'll wind down everything. I need to get you guys predictions for tomorrow from the University of Miami and Mississippi. They're playing in Tempe, Arizona, and they're playing in the Fiesta Bowl. I'm going to start with you, Isaiah. Who do you think going to win the game?
Man, my Canes winning this game. What's wrong with you, man? My Canes going to take this. We're going to be playing down here at the Hard Rock for the national championship. That's what's going down.
And you know what's ironic about that, I find, is the Miami Hurricanes won their first national championship at home in the Orange Bowl against the University of Nebraska. And I want to say that was back in 84, right? I think that win was back in 84 when Bernie Kosar and all those guys was playing for the Hurricanes back then.
Mm-hmm. It's going to happen again this year.
Miami Hurricanes, first national championship. Do you think Urban Fryer dropped that ball trying to be pretty, or do you think he dropped that ball for any other reason?
He was styling, man.
And let me put it more into context. Irving Fryar could have sealed the game for the University of Nebraska at the very end of the game. And the way Turner Gill was throwing that ball that night, Turner Gill was putting it right on the money. And Turner Gill was the quarterback for Nebraska at the time. And Irving Fryar was it a quick slant in or was it a post? I don't.
Deep post, bro. And he was in the corner of that end zone, and that ball hit him on the hip and bounced off. Yeah, I still remember it, man. He was all by himself. Turner Gill say, dart. Well, it was a dart, DC. He did like the sit and that bounced off of him. Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
It was our first national championship.
Wouldn't that be so rewarding to see this team come home and win at home? No matter who they play. I don't care. I don't care if they play Indiana. I don't care if they play Oregon. It doesn't matter to me, you know.
No.
Seriously.
It doesn't matter to me. Both of them should be exciting games because if we play Indiana and we're going to be playing
Orlando Mendoza. Yeah,
Mendoza, who's a former player for Columbus High School. And then if we play Oregon, it's going to be Cristobal's old team. So it's going to be great either way. Yeah.
Yeah. It was 1983 that they won that first national championship against University of Nebraska. They wasn't even given a chance because Nebraska was destroying teams left and right. They had Mike Rozier. They had Jeff Smith playing running back there. They had
Rozier won the Heisman Trophy.
He won the Heisman Trophy. They had Irving Fryar. They had Dean Steinkuhler. I believe he was an offensive lineman for Nebraska, Outland Trophy winner. They had so many stars on that team, and they had one of the best coaches in college as well back then. So, you know, Tom Osborne, which he's legendary in the state of Nebraska anyway. So, Najee, let me move on to you. Who's going to win this game tomorrow? Ole Miss Rebels or the Miami Hurricanes?
I told you this Monday. It's definitely going to be the Canes, man. It's going to be the Canes. They already beat the tougher team. It don't make sense to lose to the worst team, but guess what? Don't take them lightly either. So take it to them, just like you did Ohio State.
You know what this would do? Just being able to win this game tomorrow, which I know they will, because I'm predicting they're going to win too. It's just the fact that the program has technically arrived. It's come back. And if they're in the national championship, they had to go through a gauntlet to get there. They had to get through Texas A&M. The hardest part of it was Ohio State. Once they got past Ohio State, that was pretty much the majority of the gauntlet right there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they was Ohio State all season long. They was either one or number two the whole year.
They stayed one until they played Indiana in the Big Ten championship, and then they lost that game and they fell to number two, and that put them on an idle week, you know, in the college football bracket, you know, along with Oregon and with Indiana. And man, I'm gonna tell you right now, if the Miami Hurricanes, when they win, I ain't gonna say if, when they win tomorrow, I'm gonna be making my reservations for Miami. How about that?
Come on down.
Come on down. You on the Price is Right. Derek Stewart, come on down. You on the Price is Right. Absolutely.
We're going to go out to the bar, DC. I'm going to have my cranberry juice, and I don't know what you're going to be drinking.
Well, I can tell you what I'm going to drink. I'm going to drink me some yak. I'm going to drink me some yak. I don't drink cranberry juice by itself.
Drink it all by yourself, baby. Yep, and I'm going to be in my right mind. I know you'll be talking off the wall. You probably come in and say, hey, man, who's playing tonight?
Hey, man, you know, that's a possibility. No, I'm gonna keep my composure and keep my cool. And we plan on being at the game during the tailgating, and we're gonna be talking to some people at this game. So just look forward to the DC Stewart Show Podcast featuring Isaiah and Najee, including myself. We're gonna be talking to people at the tailgate, and we're gonna be live while we're doing that. So just look forward to that. And we'll close this thing out. So, Isaiah, what you got for us?
Man, listen, this was a beautiful show, DC and Najee. Loved it. You know, it was a spur of the moment thing because Harbaugh got hung on the clothesline. So we had to jump on here and talk about it because that was Najee's team. But anyway, thank you so much for the viewers, the family who's patronizing us. It's been a beautiful ride, man. It's a good, strong year so far. We got folks all over the world listening to us.
Absolutely.
We love it, and we applaud them for joining the family. But think about it. You guys tell your friends, your family, and your co-workers to holler at us, man. We're on. And be safe out here, you guys. Have a pleasant week and enjoy some football tomorrow night. Go Kings!
Go Kings. How about you, Najee?
Peace and blessing, love God, because He definitely gonna love you. See, I told y'all every time I say something, it happens. Now, the only thing I've been wrong about was the Ravens thing, but of course, that was like a world glitch thing, so we can't really count that to ever happen again in life. But normally, when I talk about sports, that's normally what's gonna happen. Just best believe me, all right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have to agree with both of you guys. And last but not least, John Harbaugh did not fail. It was time for him to go. Fate had arrived at his front door. So it was just time. I mean, time comes. You ain't going to move unless fate move you. So a lot of times that happens. So make sure that you continue to watch our show, just like Isaiah said. And, I love button heads with Isaiah, but I'm really jealous of his hat. That's a bad hat.
I seen you one.
Yeah, you gotta send me one of them hats, man. I want a little feather. I want a little feather in mine, though. I want a little feather to be able to pop up. Yeah, I'm gonna get me a feather in mine. So, anyway, we hope you enjoyed our show today. We're gonna be doing another show this coming weekend, talking about some of the sports from the weekend. The wild card games are gonna be played, so we'll be covering those for the NFL. National Championship is going to be shaped up, so we'll be able to kind of give you a preview of that as well. So take care of yourself. Take care of everybody around you. Help people when they need help. Make sure your health is there, first and foremost, because you can't do anything without your health. Once again, I'm Derek Stewart, along with my kinfolk Isaiah and Najee. Take care, peace, love, and prosperity. Take it easy.